Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about a scale that can measure your abilities when you have a chronic illness. And I'm sorry for my voice and appearance today, but I feel terrible. I'm having a really bad day. I can't talk very loud, so I'm gonna get this a little closer. Hopefully, you can hear me. I woke up with a crushing headache this morning, just out of nowhere, first thing when I woke up, that's how I felt. And I'm still trying to get rid of it. Took a shower, that didn't help. I took some aspirin, that didn't help. So it's definitely just a CFS headache. And those don't go away with anything, no matter what. I used to get those all the time when I was more sick. And I think with just kind of getting into school, we're about a month in now. I think school's starting to kick my ass. I'm gonna start getting really sick. Good thing, a little bit into October we have a break, and then we have Thanksgiving break and Christmas break coming up. So hopefully that will help. Functional ability scale. I'm going to insert a clip. I don't have the printed version of it. That's at my parents' house. Otherwise, I would just hold that up and show you guys. But I'm gonna show a video clip of my computer screen, kind of like scrolling through it really slowly, and you guys can pause it if you want to read a certain section. I think there are like 15 sections to it. So, yeah, I'll insert that right here. Alright, guys, I really can't do anything today, so I'm gonna try my best to explain this. But just entering that one clip into my movie editor to work on later, I couldn't even figure out how the computer worked. I am having terrible brain fog. I just can't sift through my consciousness today, and I just feel terrible. So I apologize. Today was probably not the best day to make a recording, seeing as I can barely talk, and I just feel awful. I have the functional ability scale up here next to me because right now I'm not going to be able to remember anything that I plan to say. So I'm going to scroll through it and kind of talk about the points that I wanted to point out, I guess. So as I say something, you can kind of not reverse. Let's see if we can find this word. Rewind. You can rewind the video and go back and find that section that I'm talking about if you want to read more about it. Normally, I hover around 40 or 50%. I guess closer to 50 is my average. Definitely, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say where you're at because the words are very, very specific to what you can and can't do. But then if you know that you can walk a longer distance that it says, then you jump up a section, but then that section is like explaining your situation too positively, like it's too much for what you're able to do. So it's kind of hard to measure. So wherever you fit, you don't fit exactly into the criteria because everyone is different and everyone's abilities day to day change. The scale would have to be 20 pages long to be able to fit in every little symptom and to measure it all evenly. So it's definitely not exactly how I am or how anyone would be, but it's an estimate. So yeah, I'm normally around 40 to 50%. I'm closer to 40 today. later today and maybe later this week, I could easily drop down to 30. That just depends. I'm going to try and get some rest today, maybe try and recover, but with chronic fatigue syndrome, you never know what's going to happen next. It's always a mystery. You never know, especially if you're feeling a little bit sick one day. You never know if you're going to feel better the next day or if you're going to feel 1,000 times worse the next day. I guess I wanted to say the lowest that I've ever been. I have definitely been down in the 10 and 20% area before. I guess that was back when it was before I even knew what this illness was and that I had it. So that was super weird. My family just thought there was something insanely wrong with me, and the first doctor that I ever talked to just told me that I had severe depression, which was obviously not true. But yeah, that's just how misinterpretations can happen. That wasn't even supposed to be part of this video. I don't know why I said that. Brain fog. Sorry, guys. The 5% and 0% are very, very severe. That is the point in time where patients who are suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome can just die from organ failure. Their heart can just stop beating. There's so many complications that can happen when you get down into those very severely affected sections. But like I said, it was back in high school, before I knew that I had the illness, when I've been that terrible. And that was just because I didn't know what it was, and I thought that I just had to keep doing my day-to-day life and push myself to keep doing normal activities. Ugh, I can't even keep my eyes open. To be able to like keep living my life. And I just kept pushing myself and pushing and pushing and pushing, and it was a terrible idea. I will talk more about this in a video that I plan to make about my experience in marching band, but I'm not going to go too much more into that now. Ever since the onset of my illness, like maybe freshman year of high school, was when I had that weird viral infection that I think was my onset. It was like an infection that was similar to mono, but it wasn't exactly mono. But that's when that happened. Ever since then until now, the highest I've ever been on the functional ability scale is maybe 80%, maybe in between 70 and 80, maybe like 75% if somebody created that section on here. And it's pretty hard to get above there too once you have the illness. I mean, once you get above there, you're usually going to keep improving and maybe even possibly completely get over the illness, but it's not super common. It's actually very, very common for someone with chronic fatigue syndrome to never recover, which is really scary and depressing, but never recovering is more common than recovering. So, I don't know. And this is a scale that is built specifically for chronic fatigue syndrome or myalgic encephalomyelitis. I can't believe I was able to say that correctly right now. But there are different functional ability scales for different illnesses, and for definitely there are certain ones for elderly people or for just a second here. Oh, for certain injuries. Like if you have a really severe injury that's going to take a long time to recover, sometimes doctors will ask you to rate your like day-to-day activity levels and your sense of how fast you're recovering on a scale like that. This is just one that I found online. It's one that a lot of YouTubers I have been watching talk about, but I've never seen anyone actually show it. They just like provide a link to follow in the description. I wanted to actually show you guys and kind of describe how it works and that type of thing. I had something else I wanted to say, but I have no idea right now. And I guess one other thing the language in this, this scale comes from a company that's based in the UK, so it's kind of a British English language, but it shouldn't be hard at all to understand. They just have a few different wordings that people from other regions wouldn't like phrase it like that, but it'll be pretty easy to understand, hopefully. That's all for this video, guys. I am probably not going to record anymore today because even right now, just looking at the computer screen, I can barely keep my eyes open and my head hurts so bad, so I'm gonna go. I will see you guys next video, and hopefully I will be feeling a little bit or a lot better. Bye, guys.